Oh, I've already been going.
I'm the best uke player on YouTube.
Prepare yourselves, everybody. Welcome back for another edition of the Damn Music Show. I caught Darren with his underpants down, right? No, he's just uking over there. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm excited today. We're going to be watching.
Because of my ukulele playing?
Definitely not, because of other things. But that was a special moment. I have a party coming up. I was hoping you'd play at it. Just kidding. I'm excited because we are doing the other half of somebody that I'm a really big fan of.
The other half.
Yeah. So I just looked around, and Mr. Finneas has a new track and a new song out.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to watch it. Get some more of the other side of the duo, the combo.
Yes, and I would love to announce, for those that don't know, the other half of Finneas is Ferb. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cartoon. It's spelled differently. It's Billie Eilish. You don't have kids, so you don't even probably get the joke.
But, I don't get the joke, frankly. All I get is Mama Shark and Baby Shark. That's extent of my knowledge. Well, let's just dive in.
Finneas and Ferb, look it up.
Finneas and Ferb, is that a thing?
Genius. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a cartoon from 10 years ago.
So he wasn't named after them then?
No,
he's like
no.
28. He's like 21.
But it's one of those kids shows that has a lot of sneaky adult jokes thrown
like
in
most
there.
Kids
So
shows,
yeah,
as they should. Most Disney. Okay, let's get this go.
Ferb. So anyway, this is Billie's brother.
Finneas.
Oh, there it is. It jumped right in.
Love that tone.
There's no Billie videos, so we're doing the next best thing on the official Billie channel of YouTube.
Your favorite band is back on the road, and this fall they're playing
He sings just like Billie.
the Hollywood Bowl. I've already purchased 2 seats for their show. I guess I'm an optimist. 2011, you stole my heart here, and I couldn't listen to that band for years, till that night last summer when you reappeared. Forgot how bad I wanted this. If I could see the future, I never would believe her. Falling in and out of love and falling in again. We were never any good at being friends. When Harry met Sally.
Okay.
Our flash reaction. My flash reaction is this. Yeah, he sounds a lot like Billie, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised. This is my very first.
Maybe even Billie sounds like him, and we just don't know it.
Well, he is older, so yeah, he's. If I was in, well, I do have siblings, but I always would claim, for my younger brother, that he stole everything from me,
yeah,
including like nicknames and things like that. But as this is my very first Finneas only song I've ever heard. I wasn't even really aware that he released music on himself. I do know he's a producer. Anyway. His style and sound and look, whole vibe is very similar to Billie, which is not unsurprising at all. Yeah. To me, it's my first reaction is, again, it's not my vibe. However, here's the definition of an entertainer. This is why I think this guy and Billie are true entertainers. He's taking a simple concept. He's walking around a music theater or a theater, and I'm entertained by the way he's walking and stumbling back and forth in a very dance-like way.
Sure.
And so he has a very simple one-camera video, and he's not doing much. However, yet I'm still entertained. So that to me is the very definition of an entertainer.
Sure.
And an artist. He's creating something out of nothing.
Sure.
So I'm pretty impressed with that.
Sure. Well, I'm a big fan of this style of music. I'm a big fan of singer-songwriters.
What would you? I mean, how do we modify this type of music with pop music? This is such and such pop music. This sort of understated.
This is singer-songwriter.
Diffused, huh?
This is singer-songwriter.
Well, no. I mean, that's. But this is. I know, but there's upbeat pop. There's electronic pop.
This hasn't gone anywhere past singer-songwriter yet for me. I mean, there's really not much going on but him and the guitar. So as long as it's him and his guitar, we're at singer-songwriter stage.
What about the style of singing, though, where they do keep their voice low? We're not going to say whisper because people get pissed at that.
Yeah, singing-songwriter is much more of a common genre now, too, that people are searching. It's actually around on Spotify. You can label it. You can search it. Like, it's becoming much more of a thing than it was before.
So they're creating, they've taken a profession and a thing that's been around forever and now said, we're now assigning a definition to a style of music.
You couldn't even tag it before.
Yeah.
But
this feels alternative to me.
This has I think an indie definition.
Yes, that's how
indie.
This
which
feels
is a
more
funny
indie
term
to me.
because indie came around when you were independent, when you didn't have a record label, but then it defined
Isn't that
kind
funny?
of sound. The thing is though, it's way too clean for indie, right? It's very clean. It's perfect. The sounds are good. The tones are good. Indie's a little bit dirty.
Indie was a term 25 years ago that a lot of people thought of that was just sort of alternative to pop.
Yeah.
But they weren't independent. They just had a particular sound.
Well, it was independent first, and then then it became
commercialized
a sound.
independence.
It just became it was like, oh, this is a sound. Let's take this.
I'm sorry, I took everything off topic, but I do think it is germane. I do not want to call this pop music because I don't.
We're not there yet, but we're on our way. Let's keep listening.
All right.
You fell
Shiny
asleep.
today.
I closed your
100 degrees in Texas.
computer, stole the
It is
top
so hot in
sheet.
Texas.
I was strung out in Austin for nearly a week.
In Austin, let's go.
And he was strung out here. There's
There
no
we go.
drugs in Austin.
Cleanest city in the U.S.
Thinking too much and it's ruining my nights, but it's hard when it isn't to let yourself slide, and my heart doesn't slow down when you kill the lights. I never learned to call it quits. If I could see the future, I never would believe her. Falling in and out of love and falling in again. We were never any good at being friends. I'll go hungry and crazy.
I love it.
Honest for
That's good.
you.
It's
I
getting
don't
better.
always get angry, but I'm promising.
It's like Glenn Hansard
if it's
style,
all that
Damien
you
Rice.
want, then it's all that I can do.
Oh, I love
'Cause
the
I never
piano on the
made
side.
any sense. I'll wait for years, but I won't wait alone. And then someday you'll wait for my face on your phone, and I'll call and I'll say I think you should come home, 'cause I'm tired of being your ex. Can I take you out to a concert 6 months from now?
It's great.
There's some very clever writing in this song.
I'm surprised we are not.
Yeah.
Fantastically well done. I see. Yeah. Tell me you don't see why him and Billie are great together, because Billie is so different from him, yet they're so similar. So they're able to meld to, like, this for me is like a wonderful look into singer-songwriting and the front end of what goes into a great song, right? You have, he's like very Damien Rice, Glenn Hansard, very singer-songwritery, quiet to big. I love the perfectionism in his music. Like, his guitars are perfect. They're pristine. They sound so good. And his writing, so clever, so intelligent, so smart, but not Billie. Not near as mainstream, not near as poppy as Billie. Even the lyrics are like, I think Billie has very poetic lyrics, but this got very poetic at times and still very story driven. So like, I think this really shows you what it takes to get that like 1+1 scenario where you have two very different but very similar people that come together to make a great product.
Yeah.
I love this. I think Finneas will have a very successful, like a Damien Rice style career. Soundtracks, backs of movies. He's going to show up in tons of stuff like that.
Yeah. I have 3 thoughts, but you just said something. Now I have 4 thoughts.
Yeah.
One is I really, just in my gut, I hate that we call this singer-songwriter, because you could be a singer-songwriter in country, you could be a singer-songwriter in R&B. Mm-hmm. I hate that as a genre, but I'll let it go. Number 2 is I I do think he is his way of creating music lends itself to movies in theater. I can totally see this in a love story
for sure.
style, and he's going to be developing soundtracks soon, I bet. And then more importantly about the song and the video. So the video is the easiest thing to talk about. Shooting the video like that, it's all in one theater. And here's what he and Billie really have in common when it comes to video. That's actually much more complicated than you think. And we're starting to see more and more of these types of videos. Remember the Dixie Chicks, Gaslighter? I think. No, not Gaslighter. It was the one where they walk down the highway, which I can't think of. There's starting to be more a lot of these single camera stuff. That takes a lot of coordination. Here's what he and Billie have in common. They like the use of dark and artificial light together. So he's in a dark theater. They raise the lights a great deal. Then they have the fire sparks in the middle. Then when he gets to the top, they only lit up a certain part of the seats to where he sat down. And I don't think it was just because so he could see where he was sitting. But they really like to play with colors and in dark and light contrast with them, which you guys may not care about, but as a professional marketer, I find that fascinating. It's harder to shoot than you think. Now, the music, when we're a music show, I see that Billie is more raw and he is more poetic. So as it relates to the music, I see what you're saying. They're different but similar, which is perfect for them, yin and yang. But Billie is more raw. He is more poetic, and he had very clever lyrics right there. Waiting for my face on your phone, or that's when some phones when you call their face pops up.
I love it. Very present tense of him.
What's that?
Very present tense of him.
Yeah. Well, you could just say, "I'm waiting for your phone call," but the artist of him said, "Waiting for for my face on your phone."
Yeah.
That's a creative way to say, "I'm waiting for a phone call." That's the artistic side of these things, and I find that maybe clever is not the right word, but it's an artistic, creative way to say that for sure. So anyway, what am I getting to? I feel like I say this a lot when it comes to pop music. It's not 100% my vibe, but I like that song better than I was expecting to.
Sure.
Picked up a little bit towards the end, but I certainly appreciate it. I feel like this song took way more work than probably the casual listener.
Oh my gosh, that took a tremendous amount of work.
And
like I said, everything is perfect.
Think it's really well done. And for if you're a fan of this style of music, which I guess we're calling singer-songwriter, then this is going to be awesome for you. It's incredibly well done. Yeah. They're pros, man. They're legit pros.
They're super, super top level. I'm a big fan. I loved this. I'm excited for more of his work.
And you know what? I don't know anything about Finneas. I've seen him a little bit interviewed, but he seems to be totally comfortable with his little sister being more famous than him. I don't see any sibling rivalry with him.
They seem to love their roles.
Well, I think it helps that he's a good, 5 or 6 years older than, right? He's 25-ish, she's 19.
I believe so, yeah.
I think it helps that they're male-female, too. But name another brother and sister or brothers that are doing this well. That's not like a band like Jonas Brothers.
It's not just casual, too. It's like full-on producer, arranger, co-writers. Like, they're in the pit, the trenches together. I'm impressed with them. I'm thoroughly impressed with them.
There's a great behind-the-scenes thing with Billie on Netflix, I think right now, that was shot about 2 years ago when she's about 17 and still living at home. And he just seems like an incredibly supportive human being.
He does.
Just not only is a big brother, but just a supportive human being.
Just that we also don't have a ton of information about him tells you that he's supportive, and he just stays out of the limelight to an extent. He doesn't just do interviews. He's not just tweeting all the time,
which is pretty amazing for
super amazing.
Famous people
he's
in
only
general.
20. He's only in his early 20s, and he was as famous as Billie was to an extent when he was in his early 20s. Yes, we didn't know his name, but him and everyone talks about them together. So he had the same amount of success. He was making the same amount of money, having the same amount of success as they went together.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're 50-50. So if Billie's making a lot of money and she's really rich, so is Finneas. And money.
Well, there's enough money to go around for those two. But
it taints things, and you see that dispute all the time. You make 100 million, you make 110, and one's mad at the other.
That's my point. That's my point. I just don't.
They're doing great.
I don't see that future for them. I just feel like they have this extra level.
Maybe they've learned. Maybe they've learned by all the bad stories and all the bad stuff before them, and because they are the new product. They're the new I mean, I'll say this. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. And if you're not on the Billie train, and the Finneas is really behind that, if they stay healthy and together and they keep writing, I think Billie Eilish will go down as one of the biggest artists of all time. Like, I think you will know Billie Eilish's name. I'm gonna say it with Aretha Franklin and everybody else. Like, I think she and they, if they stay healthy, has a chance to traverse the times with their music. And in today's day, that is almost impossible.
It is.
Like, they're just gonna get kicked off the tower. Right. I don't think so. I think they're gonna, because I think I think they're both, like, look at that art. Like, that is a very present song. That is a song that's real to him.
It's not about. That's a bold statement.
But
only because Aretha's 80 and she's 19. But I get your point.
Agree, and like and putting anyone with Aretha is a bold statement. But you go down Pink Floyd, any of these like massive bands. Right. I think they have a chance to do that. I think it's because they will continue to evolve like the Beatles and like everybody else. Their music has proven it now. They're in their third cycle together. Right. And I'm like, oh, you guys write present. You change, you grow, and you could move a generation. You could have if they keep evolving, a generation grows and evolves too. I think they could stay at the front end of it. I'd be happy for them.
For me, it comes down to one thing of whether that prediction will come true or not. It comes down to this. Will Billie be burned out by the time she's 25 years old? Agreed. You know, to where if she started touring when she was 15 and 16, skipped high school, didn't go to college.
I think they can take a break for 2 to 5 years.
If her brain is fried at age 25 and she takes a 10-year break, then that's not going to happen. And it really comes down to the mental health, which you've talked about before.
Healthy and happy. If they stay healthy and happy to an extent, and I say super happy, but healthy and happy enough, I think they could both go down in the history books.
I think when it's all said and done, Billie's impact is going to be that her and her brother created an acceptable avenue for independent artists to be big and control their sound.
For me, and this is not fully true, but for me, Finneas and Billie are the first people to do what the modern era has allowed them to do, and that's make great music in a bedroom.
Right.
They're one of the first power couples and power relationships to do that.
That's going to be her impact 50 years from now.
Agree. And this is my PSA to all younger artists. You've never had a moment like now. You can control your art. You can create it. You can do it in a bedroom. Like, whatever you have, get to it. Because 50 years ago, you did not have this option.
It's $50,000
to get. You couldn't do it 15 years ago.
Because this is literally like right now. It's so expensive.
Years. I know, because 15 years ago, I was making it in my bedroom, and like the tools were just not there yet.
Right.
You know, they unless you had an insane amount of money, and you had a ton of help. But now
it's still not cheap, but it's much cheaper.
But it's that's 100% true. It is not free, but you can do it for a lot less, and you can find help to get you there. That's more attainable.
Plus, there's avenues like this. Remember Carly Rae Jepsen for 8-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Call Me Maybe. I think she came out. Rebecca Friday. You know, the Friday.
Don't say it out loud. Don't sing it out loud. No? We are getting off topic, but I love this topic, and anyone that's here anyways probably wanted to hear this. So thank you for following along. Smash that subscribe. Give us any questions. Educate us about Finneas, because I know and love Finneas and Billie.
Finneas needs a ukulele player.
Yeah, he probably doesn't, but I'll tell you, I will put in a good word for you, Darren. Thanks for following along, guys. Let us know what you want to watch, and let us know what any questions you got. Yep. Educate us about Finneas too, as I love them, but I need to do more research.
Good job, Finneas. Okay. You have our approval, Finneas. Congratulations.
Cheers, guys.